But it's very human to want to say, particularly, since Henry Ford, that there's one way we can do this and it'll work for everyone.
Yep.
Because that's simple, that's black and white. And you look too at what's the output of that going to be. And that's a dystopian picture as well, because if you use one approach to learning, you're likely to have an output that's one approach to the world. And
Yep.
that just saps creativity and discourse and, so much richness from the world.
Yeah, I do genuinely fear that the broader CS discourse has been too influenced by neoliberal influences and conversations, like making it so that one way that you could read computer science discourse at large is that the entire purpose of computer science education is to get a job as a computer scientist or in somehow tangentially related to computer science. And I've always been against that, like written papers about it, but like I'm really curious what your thoughts are on like generative AI in relation to that kind of discourse and just like the impact on education at large and beyond. Like I was speaking to one of my friends who's a professor, and he was saying that at a different university, not at his, they found a student who used ChatGPT to answer questions on like open response tests, and they were able to like analyze and realize that it was ChatGPT based off of their prior answers. So like it's gonna have a profound impact on like learning as a whole, but also computer science education discourse. Like I know that was a lot, but I'm curious what your perspectives are.
I've had similar, I want to say qualms, but it's more than qualms. Disagreement with the discourse about, computer science as a means to becoming a programmer and achieving economic freedom or just getting a good job. That to me, that's not an okay state of being. If there's economic power that comes with it, that's great, but it's not perhaps necessary but not sufficient. I've seen AI programming coming for years, 15 years at least, and said, it's not going to be that long in whatever scale we're looking at before sort of lower level programming is done by AI bots.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, as we record this, we're in a watershed moment where ChatGPT is coming into its own, and it's only going to accelerate and get better. So I've been trying to follow the just flood of examples and commentary that's been happening on this as people realize, oh my God, it's here. It's been coming, it's been here, and people are just realizing from these few examples that just how powerful things are already.
Yep.
I very much do think that programming is going to be different, that you're going to have to learn a different set of skills. You may not have to learn nearly as much syntax of a programming language. You may not have to learn as many programming languages. You may be able to program with just actual natural language, human natural language, and asking a computer to, make an app that takes these inputs and gives these outputs.
Yeah.
Make a app that calculates and routes pizza delivery trucks weighted towards getting pizza there hot and using the least amount of fossil fuel possible. Who knows? But, my friend Daniel Wendell, who worked at the teacher education program lab at MIT, and I used to talk about when will we get to the Star Trek level of computing power, when you say, computer, tell me how long it will take to get to planet X in the, Y solar system, or not even specifying the solar system, just planet X, and it will either know you're closest to that particular planet that has that name if there are multiple, or ask you, which one do you want to go to? So it'll be context aware, and we're getting there already with Google Assistant and things like that.
Yeah.
It's really a fantastically interesting time to be alive and watch this development. It's scary in ways because it's changing, and change is scary. But generative AI will open up a lot of creative ability for people who may not have, the years and years of programming training that was once needed to do these things. And there will be a lot of pair programming where you team up someone who's a creative and a generative AI program and someone who's got a little bit more systems programming experience, and they will be a super powerful team. One thing that I've advocated to students that I interact with at the college level for quite some time is related to this, which is, don't get a degree in just computer science unless you want to work in theoretical computer science and be proving axioms and or writing programming languages. Instead, get either in one direction or another, either a double major or a minor in biology or a minor in computer science with a major in biology, so that you have domain knowledge beyond just computer programming.
Mm.
If you want to be a programmer, arm yourself, make yourself interesting so that you can be conversant in some other domain. And I particularly believe a lot in the power of business and humanities because, programmers are in some ways the well-paid worker bees of society, whereas the people who understand the humanities and history are the people who are going to really have the power and be the ones who change the way the world works. And, even more so armed with knowledge of technology.
I have a lot to sit with and reflect on with what you're just talking about. The wheels are definitely spinning. I definitely appreciate that.